Well, hello. Welcome back to my channel. My name is John. This is the Obadiah Project. And today, I'm going to make meatloaf. I've already did all the prep work. I'm ready to just put it in the oven, but I will explain what I've done. Let's see here. There it is. I'm gonna cut it in half and make two twin loaves side by side. They cook better that way. Okay, the ingredients. Okay, the ingredients. 3 cups soft bread cubed. 4 slices. About 4 slices ought to do it if you cut it in half-inch pieces, squares. 3/4 cup of milk. 2 eggs. 1/4 cup of finely chopped onions. 1/4 cup of finely chopped celery. 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. I don't use it because Dad can't eat it, but it makes it a little bit better. 1½ teaspoons of salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of poultry seasoning, 1½ pounds of ground beef, and 1/2 pound of ground pork. Now, I don't know how to put all this in the description yet, but I'm learning and I will get it in there one day. Soak your bread in the milk. Cubed up your bread and soak it in the milk. I cut off the crust and then I cut it into 1/2-inch squares and I soak it. I cut 1 slice at a time is how I do it. And then I soak it. I put it in a measuring cup, 3/4 of a milk, and I drop the bread down in that measuring cup and let it soak. Chop up your onions and your celery. And I saute my vegetables before I put them in my meat. I don't know, it gives it a more of a smoked flavor or cooked flavor, and it makes it more tender. You're not biting into a crunchy onion, or you're not biting into a celery, piece of celery. Let's see. So, then after you saute the onions or the celery, that's optional, you don't have to. Add the onions and the celery, the Worcestershire sauce, salt and pepper, and poultry seasoning. Mix it thoroughly. Add meats. I'd put the 2 eggs in too. Mix it all up. Get it all mixed up before you put the meat in. Add the meats. Mix well. Form 2 loaves in your pan. That's what I'm going to do here. I got a pan there and there's my meatloaf. I'm gonna form 2 loaves. Let's see. Place in a 13 by 9½ by 2-inch baking pan. Bake uncovered in a moderate oven at 350 degrees. If I don't read this to you, I'd miss something. For 1 hour. For glaze, spread for glaze, spread loaves with you spread the glaze on top, and usually you can use ketchup and corn syrup, mix it all up, and then spread it on your meat after you cook it for an hour. Then you spread it on your meat and you put it back in for 10 minutes. This is not what I do. I just use ketchup. Let's see. Spread with the mixture of the ketchup and the corn syrup. You can use where is it? 1/4 cup of chili sauce or 1/4 cup of ketchup. 2 tablespoons of corn syrup. And mix that up, one or the other, okay? Spread the glaze on the meatloaves after they cook. Bake for another 15 minutes. Longer, make it 8 to 10. Makes the 8 to 10 servings. Okay, here we go. Now, Here's my meatloaf. I've already sauteed, mixed it all up, and you have to let your meat sit in the refrigerator after you get it all mixed up for 2 hours. So that gives it time to marry and become all one. Okay? So that's what I've done. Then now it's time to put it in the oven. So I'm going to form it, and you're going to watch me, and we'll get it started here. Okay, you ready? What I do is I go down half, cut it in half with my hand, like that, all the way to the bottom of the bowl. And I scoop out half, and I set it on my pan, like that, and then I form it into a loaf. You don't want it touching the edges. Try to keep it from touching. And just mold it into a loaf. Patty cake, patty cake. Okay, then you take your other loaf and you stick that in there and you mold that into a loaf. You try to make them both even so they both are cooked the same amount of time and they're both done at the same time. But you let them cook for an hour, they should be okay. Alright? Now I forgot to preheat my oven, so we're going to do that. 350 degrees. Okay. It's all formed and ready to go. And it usually comes out really good. Dad likes it, Mom likes it. And then we eat one loaf for supper with mashed potatoes, and the other loaf we make sandwiches with the next day. So this is a 2-day meal. Okay? Let me get my oven ready and we'll start over again. Start up again. So there's my loaves right there. And I usually make mashed potatoes with this, and today I'm going to make mashed potatoes, but I'm going to use Bob Evans because it's easier. And they taste good. They're really good potatoes, Bob Evans. But I can make good homemade potatoes. But when you're in a hurry, Bob Evans works just fine. Then there's only 3 of us, so we'll be good to go. Okay, we're ready to pop them in the oven. And then we're going to cook them for 1 hour. And then take them out, put ketchup on them, spread ketchup over the top. You know, like you're just basting it. And I got a brush I use. I squirt it on there and I use a brush to spread it out. Put it back in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. And then it'll be ready to eat. Yay for the meatloaf. I hope it comes out good. So I'll be back with you in a minute. You know, I might as well let you watch me put it in the oven. There we go, see? You see how I did that? You see how I did that? Simple. I'm making some beets for a vegetable, and I'm going to make a potato, mashed potatoes. Meatloaf and mashed potatoes go hand in hand. You can't beat it. It's a delicious way to eat. And you can tell I love my taters. Well, we'll see you in a few minutes, about an hour or so. We'll get back on here and we'll get her done. Okay, it's been an hour. Are we ready to take it out of the oven to see how it looks? I think so. Let's take a look. I know it didn't explode like my baked apples did. Ah, boy, that looks good. That looks pretty good. Here, take a look. Let me take you out of the harness here. That looks pretty good, don't it? I hope it's done. Still a little red, I think. Looks good. Looks good. We're going to have to see how it goes. It's going to be in there another 15 minutes. I'm going to put some ketchup on it. I think I want to move it over here. This is a dangerous stove. Pots and pans have a tendency to slide off. So let's do it over here. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks a couple of twin loaves. Here we go. Ketchup adds a little bit of acidity and sweetness. I just bought these. These are brand new. See if I can get them out of the package. I should have had it ready, but that's alright, we got it. We've got it. I should have let you watch me mix it all up and stuff, but if I knew how to edit, I would. Just spread it all over the top. Put it back in the oven for 15 minutes. If there's anything that's not done, then hopefully it'll get done by then. We don't want pink meatloaf. We want it well done. Yummy, yummy. My little brother, he says, looks yummy, looks yummy. And so it is. There we go. Alright, set that over here. Put it back in the oven for 15 minutes. Okay, be back in 15 minutes. Okay, let's take her out. Should be finished. Take a look, see what we got. Look at that. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Yummy, yummy. Turn this off, don't need the oven on anymore. We're going to let it cool for a little bit. Meanwhile, I'm going to get the rest of the meal ready. So what do you think? Huh? I think it looks pretty good. I don't want to cut into it yet, so I'm going to let it cool down some. Okay, supper's ready. Here you are. We got meatloaf. I guess things to take the pictures. We got beets. We got Bob Evans mashed potatoes. Very good. It's going to be delicious. Thanks for watching.